Welcome to the wild and wacky world of Go-Go Loser Ranger, where our heroes are not your sparkling-eyed, perfectly poised protagonists. No, these rangers are a bit more unique. After 13 years, the weekly Dragon Keepers vs. Nefarious Monster Army battle remains a fan favorite. The Rangers, humanity's guardians, are on high alert with rumors of a secret weapon. The show kicks off with the Red Keeper, the chief of the Ranger Force, making a royal wave to the crowd and signing autographs. Meanwhile, a boy named D is approached by two overly enthusiastic rangers, Hibiki and Yomeko. They bombard him with safety assurances and a recruitment pamphlet, with Yomeko batting her dark eyes to seal the deal. D is charmed into agreeing just as the floating fortress looms overhead. The monster army, aka Dusters, enters dramatically, with the majestic evil tiger leading the charge, though they're greeted with colicans from the crowd, as Altora threatens to turn every animal tiger striped and sows chaos. He orders an attack on the spectators. Yumeko and Hibiki spring into action to protect the kid. In response, Altora, declaring himself immortal, morphs into a kitty-eared pickup truck and charges at the Dragon Keepers. They form a human wall, only to be catapulted through the air by the unstoppable Altora. As the arena's tension rises with the Dusters seeming more threatening, the audience grows anxious until a child's cheer revitalizes the Dragon Keepers. They counterattack using the Define artifact, corralling the Dusters around Altora. During a fiend strategy huddle, D, an off-duty keeper, disrupts the scene by walking into the Dragon Breath cannon, taking a hit, and shifting the focus back to commercial promotions by the Red Keeper. Earlier at the floating fortress, chaos reigns among the Dusters as they struggle to create a new monster for the week, with suggestions ranging from muscled beasts to cute cats. D proposes a tiger-dragon hybrid but is mocked. Meanwhile, F reminds D of their truce with the Dragon Keepers, which turned their confrontations into staged spectacles. Despite the act, F recalls a child's encouragement from the previous week, admitting it felt surprisingly good. After the smoke clears, D disrupts the usual script by denouncing the battles as staged and charging at the Keepers. However, he falters, and the Red Keeper condescendingly advises him to stick to the script and get defeated as usual, ending the charade with D's pathetic defeat. Disillusioned, D abandons the fortress and transforms into his human disguise. Recognized by Yumeko from earlier, he is inspired to join the Rangers for real strength. D's first day of Ranger training is brutal, but remains motivated by his secret ambition to overpower the Rangers from within. At Ranger HQ, Hibiki unknowingly almost exposes D's monster identity with a tight hug, but Yumeko distracts the moment, keeping D's secret intact. Phew, his secret is safe. After D's disruptive actions at the battle, the Dragon Keepers confront the monsters at their floating fortress, leading the Rangers to station guards and assert control, aggravating the tensions between the two groups. Meanwhile, D struggles to adapt to human customs like using cutlery under Yumeko and Hibiki's puzzled observations. He slips up by mentioning the staged nature of the battles, but Yumeko dismisses it as a rumor. After their meal, seizing an opportunity, D asks a child for a selfie glimpse, then transforms into Hibiki, frightening the child away. At the Red Squadron garrison, disguised as Hibiki, D and Yumeko are tasked with delivering a letter to the Red Keeper. Yumeko entrusts the letter to D as he prepares for a confrontation with the Red Keeper. Inside the Red Squadron garrison, D and Yumeko encounter many members, including a man with a Joker face paint who pretends to be red. D nearly attacks, but Yumeko corrects him, revealing the man is Takeda, a hopeful future Red. Caught reaching for a knife, D stumbles over Takeda's questions about how he usually addresses Hibiki. Yumeko intervenes, handing Takeda the letter and subtly diffusing the tension. As they leave, D bristles at the boasting of the Red Squadron members about monster killings. A poster of the real Red Keeper, Susei, catches his eye, just as Susei appears. D blurts out Susei's name but freezes, unable to act on his intentions. Yumeko quickly covers, pulling D away as D praises Susei, who thanks them and departs. Outside, Yumeko confronts D about his suspicious actions and demands the hidden knife. When D complies, Yumeko slashes him, revealing his true form. She admits she knew his identity and has been covering for him all day, expressing concern for his safety and admiration for his courage. Confused and angry, D accuses her of being an enemy and briefly briefly resists before pleading for a truce. Yumeko, holding the knife, suggests an alliance to help him defeat the Rangers. As Hibiki arrives to report a nearby monster sighting, D, having changed his appearance, disappears. The scene shifts to Monster F, surrounded by the Red Squadron. Despite being immobilized by Tokita's headshot, F quickly regenerates, frustrated by his failure to find D. In the crowd, D watches as Susei wields the divine artifact against F in a battle that threatens their immortality. F, facing the Red Salamander, is ultimately destroyed, but dies fulfilled. 12 years ago, after the Rangers declared the monster leaders dead, the monsters were offered a choice: endless conflict or an uneasy alliance. An enraged D leaves the scene, followed by Hibiki, who mentions knowing about D's plan and subtly warns him against further action. Yet he condemns D for passing the Ranger test and suggests collaboration for coexistence. D, repulsed, refuses and vanishes. Later in a cafe, D confronts Yumeko, threatening her life, only to be effortlessly decapitated by her. Yumeko then exposes the Rangers a realliance on the divine artifact and devises a plan to exploit this vulnerability during the upcoming staged battle. To execute their plan, D attempts to transform into Red, but is constantly interrupted by Yumeko, questioning their underuse of transformation abilities. Successfully transformed, he enters the Red Squadron garrison, maintaining communication with Yumeko, who teases him with manga tropes, annoying him as he breezes past the oblivious members. Guided to the artifact's location, D is startled to find Tokita already at the artifact's location. He calmly states he needs the artifact for a transformation, but a skeptical Tokita exposes and attacks D. Despite regenerating from damage, D is toyed with by Tokita, who plans to test the artifact on him. He counters by threatening to detonate dynamite, forcing Tokita to retreat. D beats Tokita with a rod, grabs the artifact, and escapes through the fence, enjoying Yumeko's praises. Reaching the rooftop, D is confronted by the real Red. The battle escalates quickly, with Red deflecting D's desperate attacks, including a clever but failed attempt with a metal ball. As they spar, Red draws the battle out until his media crew arrives, turning their duel into a live spectacle. Red mocks him and announces that thousands of people are watching them and are waiting to see D die pathetically with scattered limbs. Red starts his act and, in a hushed tone, states he forgot to tell he's not alone. Just then, Blue arrives and smashes D's head with a powerful kick. As other Rangers join, they contemplate executing D on live TV, but then Green suggests exploiting D's talents instead of wasting them in monster jail.
I don't want that.
Yeah, nah, we're killing him.
D is puffed up into balloon form by Blue's artifact, floating away as he ponders on F's advice about embracing the role of the perfect monster, even in defeat. D yells at Red that he'll remember him. Red nonchalantly states he won't, and with a flick of his fingers, bursts into flames. Red, out of his suit, discovers his artifact has crumbled to dust. D manipulated it by mimicking it with his arm. Meanwhile, Yumeko guards the real artifact, appreciating D's sacrifice. Now, only 4 artifacts remain. At Ranger HQ, tensions run high during a banquet with senior and junior Rangers. Yumeko's tardy arrival annoys Blue, who expects an apology. Her retort about projecting his feelings because Blue called her Yellow's mistress leads to a headbutt from Blue's assistant, Izomi, giving Blue a bloody makeover. Red, attempting to restore order, asks Yumeko for an apology, which she reluctantly gives. The focus shifts as Red discloses the theft of his artifact by the deceased D, sparking a debate on countermeasures. Himura, Red's assistant, calls for Red's resignation, volunteering to take over. Red agrees, smirks, and after a brief scuffle, beats Himura to a pulp, reasserting his dominance. Elsewhere, Hibiki watches the video of D getting blown up. Blue arrives at the blast site once again because he has been troubled by the artifact's disappearance. He believes D either escaped to the fortress or was blown away by the wind. He decides to search the fortress and entrusts his assistant, Hikaru, with assessing the wind direction and finding D's location. Meanwhile, D survives the explosion orchestrated by Yumeko to fake his death. Badly injured in the woods, D encounters Hibiki, who offers help. He carries D to a nearby cave and suggests D use his powers to heal the wound and after Dee kicks the first aid box Hibiki brought. Dee reluctantly does. Impressed, Hibiki requests a transformation demonstration. Dee proceeds to put on a transformation show for Hibiki. Because Hibiki makes special requests like an excited child, Dee ends up making a monster mask, which Hibiki wears and pretends to be a monster. But Dee states he's not worthy of becoming one of them. Hibiki then shares his past. Raised by justice-loving parents who viewed the Rangers as savages, Hibiki secretly admired them. Tragedy struck when a monster, proclaiming itself a god, attacked his church, killing his parents. Hibiki and his sister survived initially due to her caution, but she was later caught under rubble during a subsequent attack. Hibiki, pushed to safety by his sister before she was crushed, vowed to join the Rangers and fight. Dee listens, bewildered by the length and drama of Hibiki's tale. Dee boasts to Hibiki about defeating Tokita, which impresses Hibiki since Tokita is the 5th strongest member. Their banter is interrupted by the arrival of Hikaru, covered in leaves and complaining. Hibiki tricks Hikaru into thinking he's captured Dee to protect both their covers. When Hikaru threatens Hibiki, Dee pretends to be subdued, only to smack Hikaru.
You're mean, you hit me.
Hikaru, frustrated, wields a replica of the divine artifact against Dee, who escapes after a fierce battle that leaves the forest in disarray. Despite the chaos, Dee and Hibiki manage to regroup. As Hikaru becomes desperate, he pleads with Dee not to ignore him, unleashing a powerful attack that seems to miss. However, Dee reveals himself and snatches the artifact, only to drop it as it burns his hands. Hikaru boasts about his power of bonds, which he claims make humans strong. Dee and Hibiki, seeing an opportunity, fake a hostage situation to trick Hikaru into surrendering the artifact. Just as Hikaru is about to attack, Hibiki uses the moment to snatch the artifact and slice Dee's head before throwing him off the cliff. At the bottom of the cliff, we see Hibiki. It's revealed the two switched places and their plan was a success, despite the personal cost of a burned face and a lost hand. A few moments earlier, Dee encourages Hibiki to take over and find the answers he seeks, while Hibiki, now in Dee's monster mask, challenges him on who will perform the Ranger Force first. And that wraps it up. Don't stop here. Check out these videos next and just unleash the power of your mighty index finger by smashing that subscribe button. Trust me, it's worth it. See ya!